Well, it's official. Glenn Frey's son will join the Eagles. I'm John Bowden from rockhistorymusic.com. Well, first of all, Don Henley went on a Boston radio station yesterday, and he was talking about the fact that he has a big 70th birthday party coming up in Dallas, and the two other remaining surviving members of the current version of the Eagles, Timothy B. Schmit and Joe Walsh, will be there, as well as Stevie from Fleetwood Mac, of course. They had a big hit, Leather and Lace. They'll perform that. Patti Smythe will also be there with her husband, John McEnroe. It's going to be a big, fun surprise. But really, what everyone wanted to know from Don Henley was, what's the deal with the Classic East and Classic West shows that they're sharing with Fleetwood Mac and a whole bunch of other bands on one side of the country and the other, who would be singing Glenn Frey's part? And eventually, Don Henley, a day early, well, he said a few days early, let the cat out of the bag. It was Glenn Frey's son, Deacon. Henley says there's going to be an official announcement in a few days, but let's just do it here. Glenn's son, Deacon, is a very talented young man, and he seems to be up for the task. He's enthusiastic about it, and he's been working real hard. He's going to do it with us, and I think it's appropriate. But you know how rock and roll fans can be, and this happens in every profession, I'm sure, but we sure get slammed with it in rock and roll. There'll be people who say, oh, you went to the Classic East show and saw the Eagles? Well, you really didn't see the Eagles. And other people will comment right on the bottom of this video, there's no Eagles without Glenn Frey. I'm not such a big fan of that. Like when Peter Gabriel left Genesis, I didn't say it's not Genesis anymore. I actually preferred, I liked the Phil Collins version just as much. I'm not saying I prefer it, but it was pretty close to me. It was still Genesis to me. They were still all legitimate members. And there's an offshoot of Eagles family members. There's J.D. Souther and Jackson Browne. And who knows, maybe even Bob Seger will be there, who gave Glenn Frey his first chance singing background for Ramblin' Gamblin' Man in the late 60s. I've mentioned this before. I don't think it'll be Bob Seger, but who knows? But it's going to be J.D. Souther or Jackson Browne, and they'll announce that in a few days, and we'll come up with another video. So there's always going to be people who say you didn't really see the Eagles if it was after Glenn Frey died. I say it's still the Eagles, but everyone's right. If you don't think they are, you're not going to go to the show. And boy, Deacon, I would be really nervous if I was him. I've heard him on YouTube. He's pretty good, but he's not his dad. Henley described the whole thing as an old system, both in Eastern and Western culture, called the guild system, where the father is the master, the son is the apprentice. The trade, the craft, the business is handed down from father to son. I think it's the only appropriate way to carry on. I don't think I'd do it otherwise. Since it's Glenn's blood, it's his son, I think it's appropriate. There'll be one more musician along for the ride, but I'm not going to say who that is. The first two shows, because there could be more, I'm sure the Eagles will tour again, will be July 15th and 16th at Dodger Stadium in LA, and the other is at Citi Field, July 29th and 30th in New York. It's going to be interesting. A lot of people are going to talk about this, but I, for one, and I'll say it again, I've said it a million times, I, for one, I'm glad the Eagles are still together. I really am. I wish Don Felder and Don Henley would make up. I just finished doing a video, if you look under our other videos, of Randy Meisner. I interviewed him in 2000. We've got like this 8-part series of Randy talking about the Eagles. And Randy, in the interview, said, I don't hold grudges towards anybody. He called Henley a stickler. He told me about punching Glenn Frey in the face just before he left on that last tour with Hotel California. But in the end, when the dust settles, Randy Meisner basically said, we're all getting older. Let's kind of all get along. And as an aside, if you check out Randy Meisner's Facebook appreciation group, there's a picture of Randy recording with some friends. Everyone said he was near death's door. I don't think he is. He looks frail. He doesn't look great, but he's recording some new music. So just look up Randy Meisner under groups and you'll find that group. Actually, some of Randy's family members are members of that group. It's really a cool group. Check it out. Make sure you comment on our videos, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. We'd appreciate that. I'm John Bowden from Rock History Music.